I'm going to put the engine back in the Leyland. You'll see there's a lot of stuff in the way. We've got the new engine on here. Just got to get the flywheel off the old engine. Move one bit out of the way. Right, so could keep the engine outside. First job is to fit this rear oil seal, and we'll just do that because this obviously you can see better out here, and we'll show you. So you can see the old seal in there. So we'll just get that out, put this new seal in while it's out here, and that's the first start of doing this engine up. I need to take this off as well, so obviously it's stuck fast, but give it little taps because it is cast and you don't want to break it. Could do with a rubber mallet really. Right, we've got that off. The top dowel here was obviously the hardest, it's the most weathered. These two came out alright. It's quite hard work. Looked like there should be a gasket in there. Maybe people on the comments can tell me that. So now let's get this bit off, get the new seal fitted. We've actually managed to get the seal in without taking this bit off, so I've left it in. I've pushed most of the way in, I put this on and gave it a tap with a piece of wood just gently around it. So I don't know if that's going to mess the seal up or not, and there's rotation marks, so you've got to make sure you get them rotation marks. But I mean, you see that rotation mark there? I don't know if you can. Rotation, but obviously you can't really put it on the wrong way round because it only goes one way, so just something to check. But that seems alright to me, so I've managed not to take that bit off. So I probably could have left this bit on as well after all that. Oh, we've got that in. Seems alright. Now we've got to just clean this up, make a gasket. I've got some gasket paper. I've seen better days, but well, it's not really retaining anything as such. It's retaining a bit of oil on that part, but other than that, that piece of paper will do. I'll just clean them up, use that gasket paper. Jobs are good. Right, we'll clean this up. I'll clean it up a little bit more, and then I'll make a gasket. I'll clean this side up. So it's important the gasket is good round this bit, you see, to stop the oil coming out. I'll clean this all up and we'll get it sorted. Got a little bit of gasket glue. Don't have to be, you know, only a little smear you want. You don't want much on this. It's not really that serious a gasket. So just knocked round the dowels, and then I'll gently knock round the rest of this and make a gasket, and then we'll cut it out. I haven't got a thing, so I can't show you the process of doing it, but those who know will know. I'm also just using the ball of the hammer to rub, because this gasket paper is very thin gasket paper, because it doesn't need to be any better. So you can also just rub the hammer and just gentle taps and get your outline of what you need. See, and you can see the outline coming. You see that? So we'll carry on. There we are. Now we just got to carry on and get the holes. So we'll do that now. You want a little rounded head hammer for that. This bit we don't need, that'll be cut down there somewhere. I've just done that like that. So we're getting there. a very thin smear of sealant, and then we can put our gasket on what we've made. So it's quite hard to hold the phone and do the job. There we go. All back together. You've got a dowel there, dowel there, dowel there, and then obviously just pull it up square and tighten it up. So we're ready to go now. We're getting there. So we can't do no more till we get a flywheel. So I'll get the flywheel fitted there, and then we'll stick it in the Leyland. And we've just got to put the clutch back in. There's the clutch. There's the clutch shaft. That's the shaft. That'll all go back in here and rebuild this. Right, so we've got the flywheel. It's about 2 o'clock, and this bearing was in there. So I've got a new bearing. Makes sense to get a new one. £26. So we'll get that fitted. It's pushed in there nicely. So we've got the bearing in. We just got to line up this dowel with the right point on there, and then the engine will be ready to lift in place. Look like I'm missing a couple of bolts. We're missing a couple of bolts, but I'll put some in loose, put this one in, just so we can take this out and get the flywheel sort of mounted, if you like. So we're missing 2 flywheel bolts, so I'm going to have to see if I can get hold of them. But I could put it in the tractor, but then it'll be quite hard to do them up. This is obviously a torque setting on them. Oh well, we're missing 2 bolts, so I'll have to get some more. I could put the engine in the tractor, but you know, you got to torque them bolts, so it'll be quite hard to torque them up when it's in there, because the flywheel will just be inside here, you see. Let me show you. The flywheel would then come in here, you see. But mind you, you can torque it there, so I might put the engine in. The quicker that's in, the better. I'm going to give this a clean. That would have been nice to get it outside and pressure wash it, but there's just too much stuff in the way. I'm not going to show you too much of that, because this is not my area. So I'll just give it a clean up. We'll get the engine plonked in and we can clean it another day when we get it outside. If we can get the engine in, we can drive it out. Well, we've got that cleaned up a bit. Here I can't see any threads. When I took the engine out, there was no bolts in that. And you've got to line these up, you see. There's a bolt in that one. This one, the bolt go on the top. So it's quite difficult to get the engine in. I don't know whether to drill and tap these out now while I've got the engine out. We could drill and tap them out, but we'll see how it goes. Just going to put a longer strap on. No, that ain't very much longer. Get a longer one so I can just twist it when I've got it up on the track. That's better. going to try that again, because the engine needs to sit more like that. The engine needs to sit more like that so you can get, because the flywheel's got to come over this bit, so you need the engine sitting like that to get it in, because getting the flywheel in when it's in the cab is too difficult. So we'll attempt that again. Well, I can't get it in with the flywheel on. To get it over there and in there is nearly impossible. You see that? The ridge has got to come in there. So the flywheel sit just in there, and I can't do it, so I'm going to take the flywheel off. The next hardest bit is getting this one. Once I get that lined up, that'll go in no problem. So that's the main thing now. There it is, in the tractor. That's the main bit to get on. You actually might need to lift the engine up to get the bolt on. Can you see that? Yeah. But other than that, she's in place. So I just bolt it down. That's a pity I haven't got the all the flywheel bolts. I've had all the flywheel bolts. I could start putting the clutch in, so we're not getting too far. If I had everything, I'd probably get it all done in a day. But yeah, not bad, huh? She's getting there. So this is the water pump of the old engine, which actually looked like it's been reconditioned at some point. And obviously this one, I'm just going to remove and swap it over. Same with the alternator, that don't look very good. I've got my old alternator down here, so I shall change the alternator as well for that, because that's all old and crappy. At least that probably might work, so they can just be kept as spares. Then I'll get the exhaust manifold on. I've got a stud missing there. And see what happens. So it's looking a bit like the tractor again. I'm looking forward to getting it done. Got the water pump off. Just get this off and carry on. Exhaust manifold, like I say, I got a stud missing there. Maybe that's been lost in transport, but never mind. It's a bit annoying. But I'll obviously have one in the old block when I get it back. Oil filter. I'll put this new on. Well, I say new, that's the existing one off the old tractor, of this tractor, of the engine that's no good now. Tomorrow I'll come in and clean these up, make some gaskets and put the water pump on. Because this one definitely looked better. See that? It's definitely been reconditioned at some time. Let's just keep this one for spare, keep that for spare. Power steering pump. Starter motor. Obviously this engine's come with all the pump and everything on it. Remember to put that one back there, that's where that went. Oil filter slightly different, or fuel filter slightly different on this one, but that's no problem. Yeah, well, we'll carry on. So that's about it for today. Started late, so I ain't quite done as much as I'd like to have done. Would have been nice to get everything done, but it's now about 5 o'clock, so we'll just call it a day. We can get here early in the morning, fit the water pump, and do whatever else I can, really. Like I say, I just got to get some bolts for the flywheel before I can put the clutch back in. And as you all know, that a Leyland clutch is the only tractor you can change the clutch on without removing the engine, but I tell you, that's hard work. That was hard work to get it out, but you'll see here. So yeah, you can get this, I'll put this in to support the clutch. It's heavy, and this is the only tractor you can do without taking the clutch out, or taking the engine out to do the clutch, but it is hard work. So you take all this apart, that go on the end of there, you see, and these go round it, and then that's how you can slide this backwards and forwards, obviously to remove the shaft, because normally you'd have the gearbox and you'd have to pull the engine forward, wouldn't you? But yeah, right, that's got to do it for today. I'm pleased.